Hello, welcome to Breakfast Central on a Tuesday here on New Central Television. This is the program where we bring you all you need to know to start your day right. Insightful discussions, amazing conversations and analysis. So you've joined the right station. I am Binga Aborowa.
And you couldn't have said it better. You really have joined the right station. And your voice also matters. At some point during this show this morning, we opened the phone lines so you can get to be a part of our analysis. Simply log into YouTube, New Central, or streaming live. You can drop your comments in the chat box, or you wait when we're reviewing the papers. We open the phone lines and you can call to be a part of the show and share your thoughts on any or every of the segments that we've analyzed, particularly the stories on the front pages. So welcome to the show. I am Olive Emoji.
You know, one thing I like about Breakfast Central on Tuesdays, I'm always very excited on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays. Then on Thursday and Friday, I start getting sad because we don't work on weekends.
Oh, do you started it?
So I begin to miss our viewers. It's not them, it's me.
At this point, management should do something about this. Benga deserves more work hours. It would be great for him to do breakfast.
I don't mean it that way.
To do Jasiri and to do, you know.
No, I'm just talking about breakfast because weekends I feel some separation anxiety from the viewers. I wish we could do this for 7 days. It's passion. Yes.
Okay. Anyway.
Don't you have that passion?
No.
Anyway, you have divided loyalty because you're a lawyer, you're not. Me, I don't have anywhere to fall back to.
It's a lie.
I have a degree in mass communication.
Wow.
This is the profession I know.
Wow.
But you, if push comes to shove, you can go back to Supreme Court.
I can go back to NBC, NBA conference. I can just pack my load now today and say,
you know
what?
Your learned colleagues, how you like to be proud, my learned colleagues. That's why I missed you.
Don't
He's
worry,
my own learned colleague.
Jeroboam. Joe will be back tomorrow. We, of course, unfortunately had to be away for some family emergencies, but we'll be back complete as a trio tomorrow. Now let's start with wake-up conversations. Very interesting stories have happened in the past 24 hours. Special advisor on media, a senior special assistant on public media to the FCT Minister Olayinka, has put out a very interesting tweet. He's called for tighter regulations on social media usage in Nigeria, as stated in a tweet yesterday, Monday. Let's take a look at the tweet. And now this tweet, of course, has garnered reactions. In the tweet, he says, NIN, validity identity card, international passport, voter's card, driver's license. These two should be made compulsory to open and operate social media accounts. And of course, there have been very, very interesting reactions to that. But Benga, maybe we should get your thoughts. Some have said, not a bad idea, but you have to proceed by creating your own app and subsequently demanding for such credentials. That's one of the reactions. And
It's everything about stifling freedoms, press freedoms, and all of that. This is...
Yeah, this one says, how many bandits have the securities apprehended despite them having NIN? Misplaced priorities and hypocrisy is your problem, Bison Dave says. Tech expert says, using NIN will put the data in the custody of the foreign entity. Is this good for a sovereign country, or will the verification be done locally before routing to X? That's a question, a good question that was asked. You know, and Joshua, I want to take
very important question there. Is the social media platforms indigenous to Nigeria that you want to share all this very sensitive data? Joshua says they should be talking of using NIN to vote for proper registration and accountability, not nonsense social media regulation process, regulation proposal. I agree with him. And I think Mr. Olayinka's proposal, he didn't even go too far by asking for NIN driver's license.
See this one now. See what this person said.
He should also, exactly, may they add marriage certificate, joint WAEC certificates, and birth certificates of all living parents.
You know,
and extended family.
Extended family. I think that's not even enough. At this point, you also have to drop your height, your weight. You know, there's certain other things that you need to add.
The things you ate for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
After all, US people are asking for social media accounts that you've used in the past 5 years. I think that it's important that, you know, everything. You don't.
And the law, look, we're not saying people shouldn't be responsible. We're already talking about the ills of this cyber bullying law, how they've weaponized it. How it's now the Cybercrime Act, how it's now lawfare, and then you're talking of introducing the stringent measures. Look, the laws of Nigeria are enough to take care of libel and what's the other one? Libel,
defamation,
and
slander,
and that. So if you feel someone has offended you, there are ways which you could go around.
So why Nigerians, in a normal sense, you would think, oh, this makes a lot of sense, because you can then tell who is behind what account, and if they put on troll, because to be honest, there's some people that you see their tweets and you think this person does not deserve to see the light of day. They deserve to be thrown into solitary confinement for the rest of their lives. But then again, the NIN that they've mandated us to do, remember the times when we would hear an announcement that says, oh, you should do your NIN registration, and everybody's running. You know, Nigerians like to do last-minute deadline registrations. We do all of that. Yet, I remember at the time, we were being told that it will help curb the kidnapping incidents, and I don't know that it has done that. Because the people who still kidnap still make use of telephones, and they still use phones to threaten and collect their ransom. The government says it's illegal to pay ransom, but people are still paying ransom, of course, because they are trying to save their loved ones.
Yeah, we need to prioritize and look at strengthening our electoral system. Priorities, like one of the tweets said, that, you know, thinking of ways to advance our democracy, not to stifle freedom of speech and expression. Because
the truth is, even some of the people who have called for stifling of social media to some sense are not even in the best place. Everybody that has asked for social media to be regulated, they have even misused social media. They have also acted as trolls in some measure, or used certain comments that probably shouldn't have been used.
Yeah, because the same Larry Loinka that is talking, I remember him disparaging a broadcaster on social media, you know, saying, just making disparaging comments and all of that. So he hasn't been he hasn't made the best use of social media in a proper and dignifying way that he should.
Yeah, he do like to fight. He likes to fight a lot on social media, but then...
And mostly rougher fight. Yeah.
But then I guess it's a free-for-all one. But let us know what your thoughts are. Do you think that there should be a regulation on social media, or do you think that this is something that we should move away from? Do you think that will help in curbing fake news? It will help in curbing or reducing the incidences of bullying on social media or defamation?
You know, sometimes I want to just speak or address, because you watch, you go through a series of tweets and somebody asks a very genuine question and the next thing is insults. And I want to type, who raised you? That's not a gentlemanly thing to say. That's not proper. I want to get involved in the conversation, but then I see, look, I'm Googleable, I'm a public figure.
Yeah, you respect yourself, because you know there are certain things.
I self-regulate that.
Exactly.
No, so
there are certain things that should not be
it.
attached to your name. So what I do in such instances, when I see people who I think that what they have tweeted does not really make sense, and I think this person is just a troll, and even if they're not following me, I block them.
They're mostly faceless, yes.
No, some of them have faces. So what I do is I block them ahead of future reference.
Yeah,
don't
I do
come
that
into my
too.
space.
If somebody can be this vile
tomorrow and follow me, I block you ahead. Anyway.
Or maybe I should just create another account called the Black Lion. Yeah.
This lion,
and then I can do.
You can do whatever.
Yeah, well, I'm Leo. That's why I'm obsessed with lion.
I am.
We are the king of the jungle. You are the queen of the jungle. What is your answer?
Your answer is the cat of meow of the jungle. Okay, let's move away from social media regulation and the necessary requirements to talk about Phyna, Big Brother reality TV star winner, has again been the subject of conversation. She's on the news this time, not advocating for her sister, but unfortunately, she commented about something that was done to her, and the video was misinterpreted. No, not misinterpreted, that's not the word. The video was taken and she was torn for it. But let's take a look at the video and then we'll come back to share with you the update on that.
Okay, I agree.
Don't need to go to the private one.
Yes, sir, I agree. But in my sister's case, I am putting my sister as Dangote's child because if I Dangote pikin no carry am come here.
No, not also.
No, Dangote will not bring his child here. They will fly.
Okay, you want to about God?
Yes, they're taking that to me.
Okay, that's why you're saying.
Yes. Even the lagoon is just to like to them to process everything and we go.
Where?
India.
I think some person should.
States, this is getting out of hand. For real. You drive, the moment you stop in traffic, some beggars, boys, Yoruba boys to be precise, they will all surround you, begging you for money, blah, blah, blah. If you don't give them money, they scratch things on your car or they do rubbish. Yesterday, there was a boy that was rounding my car, like a lot of them, and I noticed he removed something from here because immediately I heard it and he ran. I just couldn't feel what he removed, only for me to get home now. And I'm seeing that this is what he removed from my car. I don't understand. They run from police, they run from Agbero, they run from Yoruba boys who they beg for road. Are we going to be running from everybody right now? Should we start running? So somebody cannot stop in traffic light again because some Yoruba boys will come around his or her car. Because look at, I knew yesterday we were now wondering where he come out because I heard the sound and he ran. We didn't know what he removed. I don't understand. What did they sup Lagos State? What did they sup? Now only Yoruba people did the state. What did they sup? What did they sup? What is this? What did they sup?
So if you
from that video, it looks like outrage farming. You're baiting people to respond to your tweet. She could have to a message. She could have. She could have.
Yeah. So basically, I think what we should look at from this perspective is the fact that, first of all, Phyna has been through a lot, right? Phyna she's had to deal with her sister, Mrs. Ruth Otabo, going through the being attacked by Dangote and crew. Dangote vehicles. And having a leg amputated. Then having her sister's leg amputated. Like you can see the first video where she was saying to them that if it's Dangote's child, would they bring Dangote's child here? And some had used this to make an excuse for her, even though she's taking accountability for that. But I think the second video, whilst we understand the subject of what she's trying to drive at, the fact that there are people who should not be on these roads begging and using an opportunity to rob. Yeah. She had no right and no business making reference to their tribe. And not saying, once, and generalizing multiple times. No, even if once, she had no right to say Yoruba people, and only Yoruba people, they Lagos, Yoruba boys, Yoruba beggars. She had no right to do that. It was very out of order. It was distasteful, and she was called out for that. And of course, she backtracked and she put out a tweet apologizing. So if we can have the tweet where she was apologizing put up, and we can share it with you, because in that tweet she said things in the line of her head being full, her being dealing with a lot, and basically sort of asking people to have mercy on her. I understand, but why do you single a whole tribe? She says, I must say I let my anger get the best of me with the tweets I made earlier. It's just a whole lot going on, plus having to fix the scratches and replacing what was taken from the windshield of my car. It wasn't my intention to malign the Yoruba tribe or cause division. The damage could have been done by anybody from any tribe. I'm not a bigot. I love all tribes. I love my Yoruba brothers and sisters, and it's evident in my creative works with how much I've worked with them. My anger does not in any way justify the tweet I made. I'm human. I really like this line. I'm not perfect, and I'm using this medium to apologize. Emma Binu, Eforiji me. Okay. I like that she says her anger does not in any way justify the tweets she made. Right, because I think that it's very important that we realize a lot of broader conversations. It's the same thing that happens when we bring up the line Fulani headsmen, when we're saying, oh, these people, they are Fulani headsmen, and they will say you're generalizing. Because these are the same little nuances here that pop up. Tweet, the response to Madekuti's Instagram over the weekend. Somebody insulted him. That he, I saw it. I said that people that are diluting Yoruba blood with, by marrying Igbo people and, insulted him. And I think I love his response. He said, pick up a book, be educated. And that, and he went on to say his grandfather will be ashamed of it. He said, no, those 27 women that my grandfather married then, some of them were from different tribes and ethnicities. So
it's so toxic, the level of tribalism and conversations you have, especially on social media. You wonder who raised these people if they don't interact or have friends from other tribes. How do you come out and say this very, very disgusting things? But I love that Made rose above the occasion and really said, you know, after reading this, I can only feel sorry for you.
And I like that he did a screenshot of it and put it on his page for all to see, so that the future trolls can fall back and see that. So
use it as a reference.
Yeah, I think that I don't know that we've always had issues, slight issues here and there with tribalism, but it came to the fore at the last elections because politicians weaponized tribalism and tried to put us against each other. Whereas every weekend, the blogs are carrying weddings. Igbo men are marrying Yoruba women are marrying Igbo women. They won't leave each other alone.
I mean, beyond the marriage, they're attending social events, intermingling,
and
doing
even beyond
business,
that, they're doing business together. You know, they're starting companies together. And I think that it's a shame that we as a people be gullible enough to allow things like this completely divide us, because our strength is in our diversity. Over 250, you know, indigenous tribes in Nigeria, of a rich culture we have, how you have the Idoma people, how you have those from, you know, the Kaduna people, different people and the different tribes that all make up this beautiful story that is Nigeria. We mustn't allow narratives like this. And this is not particularly targeted at Phyna because she has apologized. This is just saying in general, because we can't deny the fact that many people have that tribalistic mindset. Just to quickly point out, yesterday, during the interview we had, when we were talking about the delineation exercise and the clash from the Warri Ishekiri issue, that's how that guest as well came and threw stray bullets at Igbo people. I say it's just like Igbo people in Lagos. I say,
why?
Why was it really necessary?
What kind of reference?
Was it really
necessary? Was it necessary? Exactly. Did Igbo people in Lagos tell you that they own Lagos?
Anyway, but let's take reactions.
But before we take, let's take the reactions and then I'll come back and share my thoughts.
Okay, great. A number of people, of course, went on X and they were angry. Dolakpo Classic says, Phyna really said the moment you stop in traffic, Yoruba boys in Lagos will surround your car. If you don't give them money, they will steal from you. Is this even the best time to post that nonsense? You that is still in grief for your sister.
Vam says, Phyna saying Yoruba boys go...
To be precise.
Oh, Yoruba boys to be precise in a video. It's really weird. It's a really weird call. It's really weird. Call out bad people. Why are you including their tribe? But when you need help, you cried out to Nigerians. Very,
very true there. Away from Vamps, our next tweets. All right. Homo Care says, one thing for sure, Phyna loves the Yoruba tribe and has on so many occasions tried to learn the language. She has always spoken good about them. And Omolara responds saying they should forgive her big.
This is a season of forgiving.
Honestly. Mentioning tribe wasn't necessary. You stated facts, you tagged Nigerian police. The matter is not particular to a tribe, it's general. Sorry it happened, it's hunger, fix your car, no vex. That's Speak Wealth. And Blaze says, the rate at which Nigerian beggars be overdoing is crazy. Imagine one telling me, Shebi, I just collect 500 from bike, I should give her now.
Wow.
The nerve.
The
audacity. And the entitlement mentality. So now, moving away from the tribalism, I think this also highlights several other issues. One of the issues is the fact that we still have a problem with beggars.
God bless you.
We have a problem with beggars that will not, that feel entitled to your money.
I mean, I think it's gone beyond beggars now. It's harassment.
Hoodlums.
Yeah, hoodlums, and they feel entitled, especially on that Lekki Epe stretch. I mean, they're more vicious. Those that beg on the mainland, they're still, you know, they're still gentle. But those guys, and then you have children, underage people begging.
The child once was at my window trying to beg, and because I didn't give her money, she waited for the traffic light to turn green. As soon as it turned green, she poured soapy water on my window.
I mean, that's really, really terrible. And you wonder if they're child services. I do understand that sometimes the state can be overwhelmed. You just need to drive around Lagos and see the truckload of people that are coming into the state every day. But it's, I mean, there's so many vagrants, so many people that are just in Lagos for, I mean, the economic opportunities it offers. But there should be measured ways of doing things. The city also needs to breathe, and sanity. How do you have school-age children at the middle of a traffic light during the day. Accidents could happen.
Right.
Trailers brakes could fail. Anything can happen. They should, I mean, the Child Services and Social Welfare Department should never allow children anywhere around an expressway.
The
It's
most
just terrible.
traumatic drive I've had to work, one of the very early mornings, was on my way to work, seeing a child sprawled, a child's body sprawled on the road, and the child had a tray. I believe the child maybe was, I don't know what, maybe the child was one of the people who were begging, one of the beggars, and obviously it may have been a hit and run, and the child's body. I will never forget that morning. I cried till I got to the office, how I went through to show that there was a miracle, you know. So they are exposed to a lot of dangers. Dangers by hit and run people, dangers by kidnappers because we still have an insecurity problem, dangers by those who will take advantage of them. After all, we still see pregnant women, mad women getting pregnant on the road, and we wonder, how are they getting pregnant? Who is sleeping with the mad women? So they are prone to a lot of dangers, and we as a society, I think that we have failed a number of these children. There's also the challenge and the barrier of religion and culture, because I know that at the time, the conversation about the Almajiri system came up, and there were those who would say it's our culture. You can't try to force them to, you know, go into Western education in the way that you deem fit. But how do we draw that line in a country that boasts of over 20 million out-of-school children? I
mean, the government has a responsibility to keep them out of major roads and the expressway, because there's a health and safety hazard there, regardless of the cultural colorations. But the Ministry of Environment too, I mean, once in a while we see them publish videos of them going on raids, removing these people from the streets, but they always come back. And then Nigerians also, especially on Sundays, they feel, you know, if you give, especially at that Lekki roundabout, they gather, they share food to them, which is a good thing. But I think it also encourages them to, you know, they think that's a hotspot, that you might just have somebody that is feeling good, that would always come and share money or food. That's what encourages
this
them.
Beggars situation then leads me to my final point, which is that we have a poverty problem that we cannot overlook, because people are trying to make ends meet. It's not an excuse for criminality, but in a situation that is in a country or a nation that is dealing with high levels of poverty, you will see high levels of crime. Right, you will see that people will try to do whatever they need to do to make ends meet. In a country that we say we have over 133 multidimensionally poor people, that is poor across different facets, education, finance, health, and the likes, these are the kind of things that you will see. So we have, it's a hydra-headed monster that we need to deal with. We need to tackle poverty. We need to ensure that systems and structures are put in place to remove these beggars from the road and integrate them into the society, because they also deserve to live like human beings, proper human beings. And the ones that will refuse, because the truth is, if you go to the streets and try to offer some of them education and a better life, they will refuse, because this is what...
I mean, there are cases of people that they've tried to help and they end up...
So for the ones that will refuse, Olokpa, go everybody, pack them and put them in maybe...
We also need more social welfare, social safety nets.
Exactly, and create structures for them. And then going back then to the original issue that birthed all of this, individuals, public figures, we must recognize that social media is such a broad place, and there's some crazy thoughts you can think in your head, but you should never voice out. You should never voice it out, because you will be held responsible. And especially as a public figure, your platform is also so powerful, so influential, that one tweet that you make can change the mindset of a lot of people, can influence a lot. So when you are a public figure, there's a responsibility that lies on your shoulders to be careful and mindful of the tweets that you put out, so that they are not deemed insightful, and you don't have to go through this issue of dragging and then coming back later to apologize, to say, I'm sorry. But that being said, I applaud her for apologizing, taking responsibility, and not, you know, there are ways to do apology. There are people that will say, I apologize if what I said hurt you. That's rubbish apology. She took responsibility and said she shouldn't have said that. Her anger does not justify how she tweeted.
And in the season of Kwamwon and Miss Emerson, Comfort,
apologizing situation is all right.
But after this third one, they said third time is a charm. If you do anyhow,
you'll collect.
There will be no forgiveness after this. So, Phyna has taken the last available apology for the year. Wait till
we are still in August too. We have not entered
more things will happen.
Exactly. We're about to enter part 2 and part 3 of all of that. Anyway, but that's all that we have this morning on Wake Up Conversations. Let us know what you think. Also, if you can share suggestions on how, as a nation, we can deal with the underlying tribalism that a number of us have had to experience in subtle ways, please let us know, because I do think that maybe we need to have our confirmed needs to focus on.
Yeah, even in real estate, you hear some landlords won't rent houses
Yes.
to certain people.
Yes. That's why they will say do the know your
KYC.
KYC form. And then you hear agents telling you that this landlord said they don't want an Igbo person, or they don't want a Yoruba person, or this landlord says, they don't want this religion or this tribe. We're all one Nigeria. We're
Exactly.
first
And
humans,
it's the
secondly
irony.
Nigerian before anything else.
I mean, look at Delta State, for example. I mean, and then when there's no tribalism, they will say, oh, we're only employing Catholic or Protestant. It's why do we
just look for something
like
to divide us.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, the people who are complaining about this thing are the perpetrators of this tribal and religious differences. Are the same ones that will travel abroad and be complaining about racism. You dare not. Shh. If you go abroad and complain about racism, and you're coming here to say I'm Igbo, they are Yoruba, therefore you're not in any way different from the racists.